the Digital Marketing Podcast.
Welcome to the active resistance against bad digital marketing. This is the Digital Marketing Podcast. I am DM Punk. This is episode number 26, I think. Today, I want to talk about bloggers against DA. This episode was recorded in, what month are we? April of 2020. The month that will go down in history. All right. So I'm going to say this. Sorry, and sorry again for not having a podcast in a very, very long time. Things happen, and 2020 comes around, and as we all know by now, 2020 is a crazy, crazy year. So I thought I'm going to bring it back just for this one, not just for this one episode, but I'm just going to do a short little episode. I'm just going to talk about something. I want to get something off my chest very, very quickly. If you are new to the podcast, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you don't know, this is the place where you can get clear, concise advice about digital marketing. I don't care whether you are a marketing professional. I don't care whether you are a complete technophobe. This is the place where you can ask all those questions that you thought you couldn't ask, and or perhaps you were too embarrassed to ask, and you can get some clear and concise answers. But today I want to talk about something, okay? So over the past couple of weeks, I've been talking to a lot of bloggers, and it's been cool. I've been talking to them because I'm a frequent flyer at, I've been very kindly invited down to some very large blogger events and conferences, BlogOn being one that I've been to a couple of times now, which is nice and lovely. And so I talk to these bloggers a lot, and they talk to me, which is nice to them. And there has been one particular blogger who I'm not going to name in this instance, because I'm going to share some information she probably shared with me in confidence. And I don't know whether me sharing this information is going to have reciprocal, bad influence on her. So I'm gonna save her name. But basically, what I'm saying is, there's this one particular blogger who's coming to me with the same issue, and this was regarding DA. Okay, now if you don't know what DA is, if you're in the bloggers world, I suppose you are going to know what DA is. But if you're new to this and you don't know what DA is in the digital marketing world, DA stands for Domain Authority. And I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory, okay, on what DA actually means. DA, back in the good old days of SEO, was a metric which we'd never had before, which allowed people in the SEO world to essentially have a little bit of a yardstick, okay? As domain authority, it allowed us to be able to go, hey, this website's got this domain authority, whether it be 2 or whether it be 99, and depending on how high up you were on that scale, it essentially meant that it was a yardstick for us to be able to say, this is going to be a website that ranks relatively well, okay? That's what DA is. And DA is not, let's make this very, very clear, DA is not a metric provided by Google or any other search engine for that matter. It's a metric devised and created by a company who's very integrated into the organic search marketing space called Moz, okay? Now, you may have heard of Moz if you've dabbled in SEO before. They provide some fantastic learning resources. I am not in any kind of way slandering Moz. I think Moz is great. When I was starting out, some of the best lessons I ever had were from Whiteboard Fridays, which they used to have, where you'd learn about a different element of SEO through their weekly YouTube videos. Now, DA is something that they created, like I say, to be able to have this yardstick for SEO. And as things gone on, obviously times has changed, and DA has changed as well. It's migrated into a different metric now. It uses a whole range of different signals in which it devises how it defines what DA is, or quantifies, should I say, what DA is. And so it's changed with it. However, what's happened with the DA is DA's become this sort of overlord metric. And I think this is a very dangerous place to be in. So let me go back to the blog sphere for a second and why DA seems to be so important to them. Bloggers, their livelihoods are made on PR agencies and businesses and companies coming to them and going, hey, we want you to write a article about X, Y, and Z. Or they may say, hey, we're a travel company. We have this holiday. I want you, ex-travel blogger, to write a blog about this. This holiday that we've got, is going to be the new thing coming up, whatever that is. And they would say, hey, if you write this blog, we will provide you with this amount of money. Now, yes, you can argue there's a grey area there, okay? I'm sure all the hardcore SEO marketers out there are going to be saying, well, you shouldn't be paying for links. I get it. But this is not link building, okay? And I don't necessarily endorse the link building aspect of it. In fact, if anything, I'm trying to take that element away. What I like about the ecosystem of this is its PR, okay, at the end of the day. That's all it is. It's asking a blogger who has the experience of the product, of the service, to write something about it and being reciprocated for that in terms of monetary value. Okay, that is the service, that is the business. And that's absolutely fine. However, when these PR agencies and companies go out for searching for these bloggers, they will, and the ones that I have seen where they've gone onto Facebook groups, communities of bloggers together, or on Twitter, the ones I've seen basically say this, X company is looking for blogger in this kind of niche, must have a DA of 30 plus or 35 plus, whatever that is. Don't contact us if you've worked with us before, blah, 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 blah. And this annoyed me. And I didn't know this kind of thing kind of happened. And when I first looked at it, I thought, okay, I kind of get it. High DA means you're going to get a good backlink from that blog. Okay, so this is where the backlink ecosystem sort of kicks in, and this is where the grey area really kicks in for me. So from a SEO perspective, if you don't know, having one of the main pillars of SEO is having a very good backlink profile. What I mean by that is having lots of links from different websites all pointing towards your website. And obviously, from a blogger's perspective, if a blogger is writing an article about your product or your services, you'd expect a backlink from that blog onto your site as well. Again, not a problem with that. I don't endorse the whole paying for it element part of it. But the problem is these bloggers who are providing a PR service, who are obviously directing their audience, which they have nurtured and they have grown, and they have collated over many years and blood, sweat and tears and writing articles for them and creating content for them. The only intrinsic value that these PR companies see in them is their DA, okay, their domain authority score, which is completely wrong. And also it's the fact DA as a metric, okay? DA as a metric is not a metric to say what a value of a link will be towards your website, okay? And this is my biggest bugbear about it, okay? I can't, if I have a blog, okay, which is about travel, okay, is about holidays. In particular, it's about Greek holidays, all the wonderful Greek islands that are out there, okay? And some company who specializes in Greek holidays, or a travel company, comes to me and says, hey, we've got this fantastic new island holiday, this fantastic new holiday to this Greek island. You've been there, you've experienced it, you write this blog about it, and we will pay you. Will pay you for it. My DA, okay, even as a niche blog, my DA as a blog might be 12, okay? I use 12 because I know that my actual blog had got a DA of 12 when I was doing the research for this. My blog might be a DA of 12. However, my content that I'm going to write for this blog is going to be so valuable, so much, probably much more valuable than a big generic blog article is going to be about them writing an article about a Greek island holiday, even though all their other articles are about, I don't know, different types of English tea and how they created a bouncy castle out of felt, some, other crazy generic things like that. But the fact is, I have a blog, I have a niche blog with a niche audience, and that audience has so much intrinsic value to that company. However, these PR companies are going to naturally gravitate towards more of these larger DA websites, these intrinsic generic websites who have a large DA, because the ecosystem works in a way that you have links coming from even more generic sites which might have a lot of DA as well. Niche websites lose out on that. Okay. They are not necessarily naturally going to have a large DA. So, and this is my biggest problem. So if you are listening to this, bloggers and PR companies, I'm going to talk to you first, bloggers. Bloggers, I believe that you have much more value to you than your DA score, okay? And I believe the ecosystem that I am talking about here is will be much better off if PR agencies and companies and brands were to stop using DA as a yardstick for you, okay? Because for me, it's just laziness, right? For me, PR agencies just go, hey, you have to have this DA so that we can qualify you, okay? So that they can just go, oh, that DA is 12, forget them. Because I'm sure they get hundreds and thousands of bloggers going out towards them saying, hey, my DA is this, my DA is that. And it's an easy way of just going, yep, no. So for me, bloggers, if you are listening, you have much more value than your DA score. I have no doubt about that, because I have seen blogs out there. I've seen crap blogs with high DA scores, and I've seen amazing, fantastic content written by brilliant, wonderful writers with a low DA score. And it's not because of how good they are. It's not about their SEO ability. It's nothing about that. It's simply because that they are within a niche, and that niche is not necessarily popular. So bloggers, I implore you, if you are taking on these kinds of opportunities from PR agencies, from brands and from businesses, and you are asked for your DA, whether you are, if you meet the criteria or not, okay? Because you all have to be in this together. Like, we are all in this crazy world that we are in at the moment because of coronavirus. And I'm not equating the two, by the way. But I'm just saying you all have to be in it together. But you all have to be in this together. And if you meet the criteria or not, and someone is approaching you saying, hey, you need to have this DA score, I want you to turn around and do two things. I want you to ask them the question, why are you asking for DA score? And if they turn around and say whatever excuse that they give, I want you to direct them either towards this podcast, or I want you to direct them towards the blog article on my website, dmpunk.co.uk. Because I want these PR agencies and businesses and brands to understand that their ecosystem, their hunt for good PR and their hunt for backlinks, I suppose, off the offside of that as well, is going to be much easier, much better, much simpler, much more valuable to them if they simply looked at the quality of content over a very simple yardstick DA score, a metric which bears no bearing on the quality of link between that blog and that brand or business. If you are a PR agency and you are listening to this, perhaps you have been directed here from a blogger and you have taken the time. First of all, I applaud you for taking the time to listen to this, but I also want to say to you, please stop using DA as a metric. Okay, it has no intrinsic link between the value of link that you're going to get between blog and business. Sorry, there is none whatsoever. Google has moved on from those days between giving that value. The value is between the relevance and the quality of content provided by that blogger within that article and the link that you are going to get from it. That is where your value lies, and the value lies in that blogger being able to convince their audience, their niche audience, which they have developed and created, towards your brand and your business from the content that they write. It's all about content. That is my rant over. If you have, all I ask as well, everybody listening to this, please, if you support this, then please tweet about it. Please spread the word within your community. Please post it on your blogger, Facebook groups and Twitter groups and whatever you have. Please share it. Okay. because I will really appreciate that, and I think this message really does need kind of spreading around in order for this to change. This won't change overnight, people, because it's going to take a very intrinsic change to people's behaviour. That they think they know better in order for this to actually in order for this to work. Okay, so thank you for doing that. Also, please use the hashtag #bloggers_against.DA as well in your tweets if you are talking about this. If you want to ask me any questions, please do reach out to me. I would love to hear, your questions, your queries, your feedback about this issue in particular, because it has got me so. This campaign's kind of got me wound up a little bit, and it's quite interesting to me. So if you want to get in contact with me, please do. You can email me at punkcast@dmpunk.co.uk. Please, if you have experiences within DA, if you have stories, stuff that you want to share with me, the more evidence that I can collate together in order to prove to these agencies and these PR agencies that this is the way to go, the better. You can also connect with me on social media. You can find me on Twitter, @IamDMPunk, and on Instagram @IamDMPunk as well. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search for Digital Marketing Punk. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you'll join me on the next episode of the Digital Marketing Podcast. And yes, #bloggers_against.DA.